Good morning, my friends. How are y'all doing? So today we got to find out that Donald Trump is still above the law, but like kind of not above the law. Well, listen, I'm not a legal scholar or anything, as you can tell by looking at me. Do I look like I know what I'm talking about? But anyways, he got a unconditional discharge, I guess, for all the crimes that he has committed. And I guess from my understanding, feel free to explain this to me. I don't really mind if you tell me, but it basically means that he will still keep his label as a felon, but nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens because of it. And this was not surprising, but I thought it was something worth talking about, because here we are in America where certain people are above the law, apparently. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really know how I feel about all of this. This is just sort of a knee-jerk reaction as I was watching the live updates of the case as it was sort of unfolding. But as we know, Donald Trump was convicted of 34 counts, 34 felonies, I don't know, fucking hush money scheme, all the, Donald Trump's always up to something, so it's hard to keep up with that man, isn't it? He's always got something going on. But anyways, I will go through all my emotions in this video. How about that? We'll figure out how we feel by the end, maybe. But I may be a little bit naive, because I kind of, for some reason, felt like I had a little bit of faith in the Supreme Court restored when they decided that they would proceed. I don't remember the exact how the Supreme Court did it, but they ruled that the sentencing of Donald Trump could proceed. And me, my friends, I am grasping at any piece of hope that I can find right now in this country with this lunatic Donald Trump about to become the fucking president. And I was thinking, man, maybe the Supreme Court is finally going to be the thing that stands in the way of Donald Trump, at least sometimes, right? Now, that's probably not the case, but my God, my friends, isn't it depressing that we watch person after person, institution after institution fall and bend the knee to Donald Trump, and he gets to continue to do whatever he wants? So I look for a little bit of faith in anything I can find, just a little nugget of hope. And I said, man, the Supreme Court has decided to go ahead and let the sentencing proceed. Maybe, just maybe, they will be a guardrail left for America still when Donald Trump takes the office of the president here in, I think, 10 days. And that's probably not what the fuck was actually going on. They probably just knew what was going to happen. Listen, you're going to go there. They're going to say, hey, you're still a felon. Anyways, have a nice day running the country, and everything will be just fine. That's probably what happened. It was more of a just sort of an image that, hey, we'll look like we're doing our job. We'll look like we're here for, justice in America. And we find out they probably just knew that nothing was going to happen at all. Donald Trump, while I was reading the updates as they were happening, I was just reading it. I didn't want to see his dumb ugly face. I didn't want to do that, so I was just reading it. And of course he does what Donald Trump always does, plays the victim. Oh man, that's always such a baffling thing to me, my friends. All the big tough men in America were like, hell yeah, Donald Trump, because he's a masculine man, but all he ever does is play the goddamn victim. He always on and on about this is a political witch hunt and they're just targeting me. And you get a little frustrated when he always compares things to the history of America? I have by far been treated the worst that anybody's ever been treated in the history of America. Holy shit, what a sheltered little fucking brat that guy is. Does he not know American history? I live in a truck. Hear me out. I live in a truck for a living. Sometimes I've been negative thousands of dollars just trying to pay the bills at home. And I'm nowhere near a person that's been treated the worst in America. But Donald Trump, born with a golden spoon in his mouth, is that the saying? I don't fucking remember. Sometimes I get fired up. But silver spoon, maybe it was silver, but he likes gold. I don't fucking know. None of this matters, right? But he's spoiled brat, draft-dodging, candy-ass Donald Trump, who's never had to do anything in his life, has stolen money from the working class for his entire career to build up his wealth, has been treated worse than anyone in the history of America. That poor baby. I can't believe how poorly he gets treated. Sometimes I wonder, my friends. I have to sit here and wonder how did we get here? And I understand, trust me, I understand. You can go through all the different possible scenarios of how people came to the solution that they were going to vote for Donald Trump. Sometimes it's as simple as, yeehaw, I own the libs, and fucking that's it. That's the whole fucking answer. We can go through the answer, but you know what bothers me is it's almost like so many people in this country just don't really have the principles that they say they have, right? We're looking for a big, strong man that's going to lead America economically and militarily, and we're just going to do all these things. And then they go, I voted for Donald Trump. I'm like, did you even mean any of the shit that just came out of your mouth? Do you know what you just did? It's just always going to be a baffling thing to me. Because me and you, my friends, there's so much happening in my head right now. I'm sorry. Let me slow down a little bit. A lot of people have been correcting me lately, and rightfully so, on some things that I've been pointing out. And they're saying, hey, maybe you need to focus a little bit less on the left versus right when it comes to politics, and focus on, you know, the working class versus the billionaires. And I believe that to a point, both fights are fights worth having. The right's selling us the fuck out right now. But absolutely, the billionaire class is increasingly a problem every fucking day in this country now, isn't it? Because what we see, for one, the judge said something like, you have the protections of your extraordinary office in America. And it's like, fuck, can I just commit crimes and then like lie my ass off to rural America, and then I could just be president, and then I don't have to take any responsibility or accountability for my actions? I feel like that's a solution at this point in this country. That's a thing you could do, but I'm not rich enough. Like, I don't have enough money to tell poor people what pieces of shit they are and still get them to vote for me. I don't fucking know, man. Does anyone else's head kind of try to wrap around the shit and you can't really come up with the fucking solution? But what we saw, of course, with this, obviously, is that whatever amount of money you have basically means that you can just outrun the legal system at this point. And we've always known that, I think. It just kind of, it's disheartening when you're watching your president just be able to do things like that. And the scary thing with Donald Trump is every time he gets away with something, it just empowers him more, right? And I don't think this is going to be a hit to him at all, except like the media might give him a little shit about it, like he's a felon. Us here on YouTube that are on the left are going to point out that he's a felon as much as possible. So it bruises his ego, which is easily bruised for Donald Trump, but it doesn't really fucking do anything but empower him, embolden him to say, hey, you know how you can commit crimes and get away with it? You should totally commit more crimes, bro. That's what you should do. And then he's, of course, got the Supreme Court ruling of presidential immunity on his side. And I think this whole thing just made it all worse, honestly. That's the emotion I'm feeling in my head right now. It just made the whole thing worse. Now he is empowered to act however the fuck he wants. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I believe that Donald Trump is just kind of running out the clock at this point, and I think he knows that too. You know, he's very old. I am not in a position to diagnose him with any kind of mental issues. I don't necessarily like when people do that, but you guys do you. It doesn't fucking matter. But people have pointed out possible dementia, that old brain slipping on him, and he's starting to really lose it. And hey, I could see how you might make that conclusion, but he's very old, possible elderly age mental issues. He's morbidly obese, and I think he knows all those things, and at this point he's just running out the clock, and that's probably a huge reason why he ran for the presidency again. There's a lot of reasons. You know, his pride was on the line. He lied to the American people about how the last election was stolen from him, and he set out to prove it. Obviously he's trying to outrun criminal cases, all these things, but I mean, I think he's just outrunning the ultimate clock that every one of us is outrunning to a point, right? Donald Trump's in a little bit different position. Some of us are just kind of waiting for it to be over, but we got 40 fucking years to go. I'm just saying, hypothetically, some of us are thinking like that. And he's like right on the door, you know, so he's just kind of waiting it out and just trying to run the clock out, and that's all he's doing. But it is, obviously, there's a lot to it that's disheartening. Now, I said I had some concerns about it earlier. I go back and forth with shit, my friends. Obviously, people committing crimes should be held accountable, right? And, Donald Trump got a fair trial, jury and everything, and he was found guilty on these charges. Okay, that's our American system, that's how we do it, and that's fair. I'm not sure what point I'm trying to make. I would hate to see our country turn into a place where we just start prosecuting political figures just because we can fucking do it. It's a slippery slope. I don't know a lot about stuff like that, but it's sort of the way that now every time there's a new president, we go straight to impeaching them, right? Well, we need to start an impeachment trial, and sometimes that's led by lunatics like Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? We must impeach Joe Biden. But I got a feeling for a very long time in our country now, every time there's a new president, we might see impeachment proceedings, some deserved, some not. And the point I'm making with that is, now that we were able to at least get a conviction, I guess, on a person that's going to be a sitting president, has been a president before, it may be a slippery slope where we start trying to make up bullshit and prosecuting presidents or political figures for made up shit. I don't know if I'm making a whole lot of sense. I believe Donald Trump was found guilty. I'm not defending him by any means, but so much of our politics these days is just a fucking circus, and I expect that circus to continue. I finally brought that point home, I think. I was struggling a little bit there, my friends. I was having trouble trying to figure out what all the thoughts in my head were doing, but I worry about the political and legal circus that could potentially happen now because this has happened. And it would be my prediction that we start seeing this on a regular basis, accusing a guy of crime, sending him through courts, and if he committed the crimes, that's where he should be. But I feel like we're probably going to accuse people that didn't commit crimes of committing crimes just to get back. Like the right's going to do that to the next person on the left that they don't like, just to get their revenge, their little pound of flesh for Donald Trump. I don't even know if that thought makes sense, if I'm being honest with you. But just what I'm saying, I told you this is a knee-jerk reaction. That's just my initial response to it. But we see that a lot with the impeachment now. Did Donald Trump do things that deserved impeachment? Yes, I would absolutely say so. Withholding funds from Ukraine unless they gave him dirt on Hunter Biden, that's obviously problematic, and inciting an insurrection is a big fucking problem too, now isn't it? But I would never say that everybody on the left is a well-adjusted adult, but they definitely are more so than the people on the right. And all I'm trying to say with that is I expect revenge. I expect retribution. Fuck me. We will continue to just be distracted Americans that don't really know what the fuck's going on because everybody is playing these damn political games instead of just doing their fucking jobs. And that's the concerns I have with it. But I'll never, for the life of me, my friends, I will never figure this out. Why working class America continues to vote for this. I just will never ever understand it. We can't do the same things. Why would we vote for someone to be better than us, to be above us? And we, in the blue collar world, we are very much about, I can't speak for all of us, but we are very much about, like, no one's better than anyone. We're all fucking here, right? And then you don't worry, you got the bad apples on our side too that are superior to other people. You guys are picking up what I'm putting down, all right? You get it. So why we chose to elevate someone to a level, and I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but we chose to elevate someone to such a level that they are completely untouchable in our society now. And if we ever thought for a second, can I do that too? The answer is no. And I'm not naive enough to think that maybe this isn't a thing that goes on in politics. Of course it is. But now that we see it out in the open like it is, it's kind of a frustrating fucking thing. I guess to wrap up that point, the thing that I see, that I think people see when they look at Donald Trump, is he's just a wrench in the system. He's there to break the American system that a lot of people felt hasn't worked for them for most of their lives. And they view him as a tool to break that system. And look, I think overall that's not a bad message. That's not a bad thing. It's just your messenger, or the person that we've elevated to that position, isn't going to do it for anyone's benefit but themselves and other billionaires around them. So while the message may be good and the ideology, the plan, everything may in theory be good, the person that we put in that position matters. And Donald Trump isn't that guy. I would say, if I were to look at it, Bernie Sanders might have been that guy, right? He wasn't talking about just fucking everything up, but he was talking about us getting some goddamn health care in this country and a living wage and things like that, you know, making the American system work for, I don't know, the American people. But that's where we are right now, my friends. I just wanted to, sometimes I prefer to just kick out a reaction and see what happens. And then if I don't understand what the fuck's going on, then you guys will always be sure to tell me what's going on. So then I know. Anyways, that's the video for today, guys. I gotta go. Bye now.